Welcome to the Narrative Mindset Podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, feel free to go back and view previous episodes. Really appreciate it. Well, today I thought about Trump and how he's fighting with Newsom. Trump sent letters to 9 universities and how he wants them to sign this education compact. Now the compact has 10 points. Now it says schools will get priority for federal grants and faster access to research money and invitations to the White House events. And how Newsom said if any California school signs it, they'll lose billions in state money. And how USC got the letter, and how Newsom said they'll lose Cal grants instantly. And how Cal grants are worth $2.4 billion a year. And how USC got $28.4 million last year. And how that money helped over 3,000 students. And how Newsom said California won't bankroll schools that sell out academic freedom. And how the compact says schools have to ban transgender athletes from women's sports. And now they have to use strict definitions of gender for bathrooms and locker rooms. And now they have to stop using race and sex in admissions and hiring. And how they have to cap international students at 15%. And how no more than 5% can come from one country. And how USC has 26% international students. And how most of them come from China and India. And how that would hit USC hard. And how the compact says schools have to freeze tuition for 5 years and bring back the SAT and the ACT and stop grade inflation and cut administration costs and waive tuition for hard science majors if the school has a big enough endowment. And how Trump says it's about restoring excellence and fairness. And how Newsom says it's a hostile takeover. And how Trump says schools are too liberal. And how Newsom says it's extortion. And how the compact says schools have to protect conservative ideas and remove departments that punish or belittle them. And how professors can't speak on political issues unless it directly affects the school. And how some people say it's censorship. And how others say it's accountability. And how USC said they're reviewing the letter and didn't say yes or no. And how some professors called it blackmail. And how some students say it's a trap. And how the White House said schools that sign will get multiple positive benefits. And how the compact was signed by Educational Secretary Linda McMahon and White House Advisor May Mailman. And how they said more schools might get the offer. And how Utah Austin said they're honored to be considered. And how Vanderbilt said they'll give feedback. And how MIT said they got the letter but didn't comment. And how the University of Virginia formed a working group to decide. And how the University of Arizona said they're reviewing it. And how the University of Pennsylvania and Dartmouth also got letters. And how the compact is being called the biggest federal push in the higher ed policy in decades. and how Newsom said California schools should not bend the knee, and how he mocked Trump's social media style, and how he posted his warning in all caps, and how he said schools that sign will lose funding instantly, and how he said California will not bankroll schools that surrender academic freedom, and how he said the compact even dictates how schools spend their own endowments, and how he said it's not reform, it's control, and how he said it's not policy, it's politics, and how he said it's not about students, it's about power, and how the whole thing puts schools in a bind, and how they have to choose between federal money and state money, and how they have to choose between autonomy and access, and how they have to choose between silence and speech, and how they have to choose between Trump and Newsom, and how the compact is not just a document, it's a test, and how the test is not just for schools, it's for the country, and how the country is watching, and how the students are watching, and how the professors are watching, and how the future is watching. Trump sent out a compact to university, and Diddy walked into the court, and he didn't smile, and he didn't wave, and he didn't look at the cameras, and he sat down, and he waited, and the judge looked at him, and the prosecutor said he deserves 11 years, and the defense said he's already done 12 months. And they asked for 14 months total. And they said he's changed. And they said he's teaching classes in jail. And they said he's helping other inmates. And they said he's an asset to the government. And the prosecutor said he's a manipulator. And they said he's been doing this for 15 years. And they said he violated the Mann Act. And they said he arranged paid sex across state lines. And they said he assaulted Cassie. And they said he assaulted Jane. And they said he's not sorry. And they said he's just trying to look good. And they said he's already scheduled speaking gigs like he's out. And they said he didn't understand what he did. And they said he's dangerous. And the defense showed a video, and the video had his kids, and the video had his mother, and the video had his business, and the video had his charity, and the video had his daughter saying, "I love you, Dad." And the judge watched it, and the courtroom was quiet. And the defense said he's broken, and the defense said he's humbled, and the defense said he's not the same man. And the defense said he grew up without a father. And the defense said he flatlined from drugs. And the defense said he's been punished enough. And then he stood up and he said he's sorry. And he said he's ashamed. And he said he hates himself. And he said he lost his freedom. And he said he lost his self-respect. And he said he lost his ability to care for his kids. And he said he wants to help people. And he said he wants to keep teaching. And he said he wants to be better. And he said he wants to be free. And the judge listened, and the courtroom waited. And the sentence hasn't dropped yet, but it's coming. And it happened on Sunday. And it happened in the morning. And it happened during service. And it happened at church. The Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints on Mackindish Road. And it happened in Grand Blanc Township. And it happened fast. and it happened loud, and it happened with fire, and it happened with gunshots, and it happened with a truck, and it happened with a man named Thomas Sanford, and he was 40, and he was from Burton, and he was a veteran, and he drove his truck into the church, and he got out, and he started shooting, and he set the building on fire, and he had IEDs in the truck, and he had smoke canisters and fireworks taped together, and he didn't say anything, and he didn't stop, and he didn't care. And 4 people died, and 2 died from gunfire, and 2 died from smoke, and 8 people were injured, and some were kids, and some were doctors, and some were nurses, and some were churchgoers, and some were staff, and some were just trying to help, and some were trying to escape, and some were trying to save. Some were trying to save others, and some were trying to breathe, and some were trying to pray, and some were trying to run, and some were trying to hold on. And police showed up, and they didn't wait, and they didn't hesitate, and they didn't flinch, and they ran toward the gunfire, and they ran for him to drop the weapon, and he didn't respond, and they fired, and he died, and the church burned, and the smoke went up, and the road shut down, and the community froze. The FBI came, and the ATF came, and the state police came, and the hospital filled up, and the town went quiet, and the victims were named, and the stories came out. And Craig Hayden was 78, and a former bishop and a grandmother, and John Bond was 77, and a Navy vet, and Pat Howard was 77, and a Vietnam vet, and Thelma Armstrong was a mother, and she was with her daughter, and she didn't make it, and others were wounded, and others were scared, and others were changed, and others are still healing. And the ER doctor, Bridger Frampton, ran into the burning church, and he ran in again, and he ran in again, and he pulled people out, and he helped the wounded, and he got burned, and he got hurt, and he kept going, and he's still in the hospital. And another doctor, Jared Higgin, got shot, and his daughter got shot, and his wife got hit with shrapnel, and he still helped people, and he still drove others to safety, and he still went back. And the community held vigils, and they held each other, and they sang, and they prayed, and they cried, and they gathered, and they said they were strong, and they said they were unified, and they said they were broken, and they said they were healing, and they said they were grateful, and they said they were angry, and they said they were ready to move forward, and they said they were not going to forget.